Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to another knife review. This is the Jeo-Tec Model 21. See, it's a true full tang. I have thoroughly tested, used, and some would say abused this knife, all to show you what it can do, what it can take. Alright, but first, here is some footage I took when I first got the knife. I thought you might like to see what it looks like. Brand spanking new. That is minty fresh. You know, Jeo-Tec, they have some good stuff. I've reviewed, check out my Jeo-Tec Model 37 review. Alright, let's get to the action, removing some bark from this branch. Now, I purposely got the black coated version of this knife just because it's easier for you to see in a video, right? With a satin finish, sometimes it can flash the camera with glare, like the signal mirror effect. So I got the black coated version. Alright, so I removed the bark from the end there. Now we're going to carve a spear. Alright, I sped up the footage because, you know, you get the idea. But as I was saying, this is available in a satin finish as well. And if you plan to cut up any food with your knife, I would always recommend getting the non-coated version. Alright, so I'll include a link to both versions and to the rest of the Jeo-Tec line. I've already reviewed that Model 37 that I like. Alright, we're doing some chip carving there. Some more information about this knife. The blade length is listed as 4.33 inches. The steel is N690. That's an Austrian stainless steel that's popular in many European knives. The edge on this knife was a little bit broad, making it a strong edge. But if you want to do things like carving and perhaps slice up a deer or something, you may wish to thin that edge out, customize it, put a finer edge on it. Alright, but now there was a lot more carving, about half an hour more carving and sanding, but let's just skip to the final step of the sanding and you will see the spear. Right, yeah, the camcorder has a limited amount of hard drive space, obviously. So there is the spear. Not a very long spear, more like a mini spear, but you get the idea. This thing can be used to carve, right? And I will now hunt a wild boar on camera, the manliest video ever. Now, just kidding, we don't have any wild hogs where I live. All right, here's a quick look at the sheath that it came with. As you can see, it's got a belt loop. It's got a tie down. It also comes with that fire steel as well as that sharpening stone in that pocket there. And it has a button closure on a cross strap. Alright, some batoning. Now this is not a very long knife. I guess that's relative, but you know, about 4.3 inches in blade length. So, and there's a choil that takes up some of that space too, right? There's a big choil on this. So basically, the thickness of the pieces I can baton is limited by the length of the knife. So I'm not going too crazy, but I did find some pieces to baton. And if this is something you need to do, this knife can do that. If you don't need to do it, it's still a good demonstration of the durability of the knife. You're going to spend your hard-earned money. You want to see it banged on a little, you know. So how are you all doing? You surviving this crisis? You doing the social distancing? I gotta be honest with you, there wasn't a whole hell of a lot of social closeness before, at least, you know, not with me. I don't go to parties. I don't go to clubs. I don't go to bars. You know, I wasn't socializing that much anyway. Can I get a hell yeah for freaking knife-loving hermits that just, you know, play with knives and just go out in the woods alone all day? You know, I know Tack is like that too. He's drinking beers by the lake, riding his ATV. He wasn't going to, you know, he wasn't socializing that much in the first place. And I mean, I agree with that lifestyle, dude. I said, give me a hell yeah for the loners and lone wolves out there like myself. There you go. I batoned, made some kindling. All right, the next task, a little bit of bushcraft. As I said, this has kind of a broad edge. Not really the best for this, but then again, you can customize that edge however you want. You want to reprofile it, go for it. But I figured I'd just do some notches with the factory edge. So how would I categorize this knife? Well, definitely not specialized for bushcraft because of that big finger choil. But you could call it a field knife. camp knife, multi-purpose knife. All right. If you beat on a knife enough and it survives, you can call it a survival knife. There's kind of an overbuilt connotation when you call something a survival knife. But yeah, I'm going to go with outdoor field knife for this one. And of course, with a knife, there's always the weapon potential of a knife. But we're not supposed to talk about that. But just between you and me, yeah, you could defend yourself with this fixed blade against whatever may come if you had to. I mean, it's kind of short, so it's good for close-in spaces and close work. Right, but making more progress on ye old notchstick. Wow, I've made a lot of notches. Yeah, I've been busy. All right, speaking of defending yourself against a log, I felt that the tip needed to, I needed to put some use on the tip, right? Now, I'm not trying to break it. I firmly believe you can break any knife if you try hard enough. I'm just trying to go right up to the edge, but not like, I could hammer this in until it was immobilized and then pull it sideways with a sudden jerk. And, that'll mess up most knives, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm just putting a little wear and tear. I also wanted to test out the handle, the grip it gives. All right, so it's fairly pointy, and it's still just as pointed after the little stab test on the log. All right, and while I have the log here, I'm just whaling it into the log again, just to put wear and tear and show durability. Good old stump of truth, right? Somebody complained about the stump of truth in one of my other videos. Oh, here I am. This Firestarter came with the knife, this fire steel, so testing it out. Yeah, someone didn't like the stump of truth, but I feel there's nothing wrong with pure durability testing as long as you include other more practical tasks in the same video, which I now do because I learned a lot of bushcraft in the and just better ways to make videos in the 10 years I've frickin' been on here. All right, so the Firestarter worked well. Oh, now that Firestarter comes with a green striker. I have broken those in the past. I didn't break this one, but I have broken them in the past, so be aware. They might want to Jeo-Tec might want to replace it with the other shorter, thicker metal strikers than the green ones. Right, but keep in mind, that's a freebie. It's like a free item, so just, put it to good use. Maybe don't rely on it as a primary, but that's a freebie, so I do appreciate the free fire steel and striker. All right, so what are my final thoughts on this knife, the Model 21? It's a good knife, a solid knife. It took a lot of fairly hard use. It stood up to what I dished out. Like I said, I got that black coating just so you could see the knife better and so you could see the wear and tear, because people really like when a knife is used and well used in a review. But they do have a satin finish model. But yeah, it's a tough knife. You may want to customize the edge, but hey, you need a fairly tough kind of mid-sized field knife. Consider this. But before you do that, definitely take a look at the rest of their line, because they might have something that's, equal in quality, but that you like the blade shape better. Like that finger choil, people are going to either love it or hate it, but they have many other designs. So I'll include links to their what they have on Amazon, as well as my top picks, and you can just browse those at your leisure. All right, YouTube. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to subscribe if you like videos like this where a knife is shown doing many cutting tasks. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.